To this day, I don't think I've ever like been that in love with anybody.
So why'd you f*** it up and cheat on me?
Hey, a little hug or something or no?
Sure.
Hey. After you, I guess. The breakup happened May of 2019, more or less.
Like junior year of our college?
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah. I like this.
Yeah, it's comfy. I think there are things that both of us did.
There was an incident our junior year, and so I kind of want to get into that.
Before we start, would you like a Tic Tac or no?
Do you think at the end of the 12 hours there's any chance you could fall back in love with him?
Oof, I don't think so.
We could leave potentially, maybe starting something new.
What do you mean by?
Like potentially getting back together, maybe.
What did you think when I texted you if you wanted to be here?
We still need to have a couple conversations. So I was like, what better way than sitting in a box where you can't sit on your phone and you can't leave? I don't think either of us will really come out of here angry.
Well, I guess wait and see, I suppose.
Who has to first?
It was a long process.
That's
we were friends for a long time.
We were friends for a few months.
We became like best friends, I would say.
I knew that I liked you. You were and still are very attractive and beautiful and stylish and very fun to be around and stuff. And so we go to this little party, we all get really drunk. You started making out with everybody.
It was a game.
At this point it was like, what, 4 or 5 in the morning. And I was like, I should probably go because I have work tomorrow at like 10. So you walked me like out of the building, and as I'm leaving, we engage in copious amounts of making out. And then I think the next day is when we had the conversation of like, okay, are we officially boyfriend, girlfriend? And we were like, yes. And that was September 24th. You know, we were together for a while, close to 2 years, I guess. In that time, you know, there were mistakes that were made and stuff. I just wanted to apologize because I cheated on you when we were together. And that really hurt you a lot. It's one of those things that to this day I still think about like really often. It really wasn't fair, especially you know, being a kind person that you are and being the type of girlfriend that you were and the type of friend that you were and how important you were to me. I think I was just so like caught up in like the self-loathing of it. I wasn't even able to like see far enough to like
You're
see
just
you.
imploding.
And that made things worse, I think. But
I think living together made it worse.
yeah, I think so.
After you broke up with me, you kind of acted like we were still dating without the label.
Well, we never like did stuff after we broke up.
No, we didn't. But like you would say like, hey, sugar tits. And I'm like,
What?
yeah, you were like in a silly, goofy mood. And you smacked my butt too. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was definitely stuff that was...
It was,
No.
you were having a moment. And then we had the final. I'm sure you're aware of where I'm going with this. We, I don't know, studied for an hour. And then I was getting sleepy. And I don't even know why you suggested I like sleep in your room. I was literally right next door.
Yeah, well, I remember you were, because you were on my bed and you were like sort of sitting, but you were lying down. And you were like literally dozing off. So what I meant was like, if you want to like sleep for a minute, like you can.
All of a sudden, like I had woken up and I had felt like a hand on my thigh. And I'm like, that's weird, I don't know what to do. I'm sure it'll stop. I kind of wanted to see your perspective. What was going through your head?
I think one of the hardest parts for me when we first broke up, and we were, especially since we were still living together, when you're with somebody for a long time and you're used to having a certain physical intimacy and a certain relationship and a certain things. Obviously, like I knew that once we ended, those things had to end, but it's not like, you know, it's not possible for like any person to just like have like a switch that you flipped and go from like boyfriend mode to friend mode, especially things with like physical contact. And I didn't realize that. I'm really sorry. And I really do apologize about making you feel that way and putting my hands on you in a way that I shouldn't have. I really, really hope that you'll hear me and know that I didn't intend for it to be a harmful, you know, aggressive thing. It was
weird. It didn't feel aggressive. I was just, after that point, I was unsure.
Is it time for a potty break by chance?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible to just be friends?
It's weird, because I've got a vibe.
What do you mean a vibe?
When I moved to Korea, he made me a playlist that was like 9 hours, 10 hours, and all the songs are like, I miss you. If it were up to me, I'd be with you. And like songs like that. So I was like,
What?
is he, we're musicians, is he trying to send me a message?
Any new ways that you're feeling?
I feel like it felt really healthy and it felt pretty natural, I think.
Who was better at that?
Probably you.
Me?
Probably.
Why probably?
Experience.
I guess, yeah, I have more sexual partners. I think we made a good team, if you will. We were...
We do rock, paper, scissors, slide, braiding hair.
I mean, I don't know that you can braid my hair, but I could braid your hair.
Okay. So the Spotify playlist you made, eh?
Yeah? You like it?
There's quite a few songs in there.
Yeah.
When I was listening to it in Korean, I was like, are you sending a message?
I was not intending to send you any kind of a message through the music. Were you hoping that I was?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was hoping, but it seemed a little too, like, I'm gonna pull that playlist up later and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean.
Honestly, a big piece of it was like, I know you're gonna be on a fucking flight for a long time, so like if you're absolutely bored and you get sick of your own music and you want some fresh tunes, then here you go, mate. Okay, that's not too bad. That ain't too bad.
How's it going?
It's going good. Time's flying.
You said maybe you would consider getting back together. Do you feel more strongly about that?
It's still kind of coming along now that we're kind of getting into like deeper conversations and like talking about issues that were really just pushing our relationship. I think it's starting to get a little bit stronger. It's not ruled out.
So what else do you want to explore?
Definitely the pregnancy.
Are you having any romantic feelings for her right now and being with her this long?
Wow, okay. That's a fair question. You know, it's like as we're reminiscing and like talking about things and thinking about memories, there's definitely moments where like I just kind of look at her and remember those feelings and remember those moments and sort of think like, yeah, like it's a hard thing to not want back.
Do a little yoga.
You wanna teach me some yoga? Me too.
You're gonna bring that back,
This
straight
one?
back.
Straight back.
Like lean down, lay down. I feel like a seal. That's more dolphin.
Did you two talk about marriage?
When we dated,
Yeah, when we dated for sure.
like briefly, not much. Like
it came up several times.
yeah, but they weren't like in gross detail.
I don't know if you remember this. We straight up had conversations about like, here goes, ready, about how we would raise our kids, like religiously speaking. We were like, if we have kids, you were like, I want to raise my kids Christian. And I was like, I'm not Christian, but if you want to raise them that way, like that's fine. Just know that I'm not necessarily in that belief.
We talked about religion quite a bit. Throughout the relationship, like I would ask you to come, because it means a lot just for you to show up.
Right.
Just to come to my church. I think it was hitting a nerve with your experience with your dad. Stepdad and his pushiness, but going was something that was like upsetting you, and I didn't want to do anything to like make you upset, but I didn't want to say it's okay that you don't come. That point has always been a breaking point with me and guys and people I've been with.
Yeah. To this day, I don't think I've ever like been that in love with anybody.
So why'd you fuck it up and cheat on me? Because this isn't the first time you've told me, oh, I love you so much, or like, I'm so in love with you.
Because I'm a fucking idiot, honestly. Because I'm fucking stupid, and
Were you just not thinking?
No.
So why didn't you tell me immediately?
I really thought I was doing better by you by not telling you. I couldn't think to myself, like, I fucked it up so bad that she's gonna leave me, and I don't want to lose her.
So just selfish?
Yes.
How were those quesadillas?
They're good.
They're really good. Do you think if we were to date now, where we are in our lives, we would be better for each other?
I think so. We can't be worse than we were for each other. You seem a lot more like mentally healthy personally, because I think you were your worst enemy when we were dating.
We definitely would be a lot better for each other
I think
now.
there are still some challenges to get over.
Sure.
If we were to date.
Yeah.
Number one being that I'm pregnant.
Can you give us some more context of how he knows already?
I had moved to Korea to teach English, and I met a guy over there, and he was really kind to me, made me laugh. One night we had sex, and immediately after having sex, I was like, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna be pregnant. Before I got the actual pregnancy test, I broke up with him. And I had said, if I actually am pregnant, I'm going to move to America. My support system's there. And we had a long conversation, which ended in me being called childish. And so I flew back. I think you were one of the first friends I saw.
Can you ask her, are you looking for someone to raise your child?
Ooh.
Are you looking for someone to raise your child with?
Am I seeking somebody? No. It would be nice to have someone to help, because I don't want
I feel
to
that.
meet someone and then say, hi, I'm pregnant, I'm going to have a child. Like, if you're with me, you have to take care of the kid
Narrows down the pool.
significantly.
You've made a lot of hard choices, and I applaud you for everything you've done so far, honestly. How are you doing with it?
It was a struggle. I was not happy when I found out I was pregnant. And I had kind of thought about abortion, but I did some praying and realized that you can't really make a plan in your life because it's not always going to go how you want it to. There's no point in a plan, and my life is led by God, so I guess I'm going back to America. That's where I'm needed.
Do you believe that God intended, like planned for you to have a baby?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
It's scary, but like it's literally showing me I have so many people that I can count on and that can help me, and that's what helped me move back here.
Hypothetically, if we were to get back together today, what would that look like?
I mean, there's so many unknowns and questions because I'm pregnant. I would like to think, because we've gone through the small talk portion of like, where are you from?
Where are you from?
We're already to the point where we know enough about each other.
And we know that we click.
I'd want you to go to church weekly because it is my identity. Again, it's literally just supporting me, not necessarily believing all of it.
Another pro of hypothetically getting back together today.
Having a stepdaddy.
Having a stepdaddy. That's a pro for you.
What do you miss most about me?
Okay. What do I miss most about you?
Yeah.
Like one thing or like several things?
I mean, you can give me a list.
Even in our relationship, we really were like best friends first. Like we absolutely were. You really quite were my other half. You had a lot of love to give, and it was very beautiful to receive.
I miss telling you all my little dramas and like you're my little partner in crime. So I would just literally whatever I knew, you knew. Also, having someone that makes me laugh to the point I cackle. It's been a long time since I've heartily laughed, like legitimately. You're a man of moody moods.
Moody moods, what that means.
Like songwriting. You wrote several songs about me.
Well, I wrote songs about you before we were dating, and I wrote at least one song for you while we were dating. Do you remember that? For Christmas.
Oh yes,
the girl with yellow hair.
And the Pop-Tarts.
Back when you were blonde.
It's probably somewhere still
6
on my
months
phone
ago,
because
I
I
met this
couldn't
girl
really.
who told me she could draw real well, but she forgot to mention her real talent was stealing hearts.
Is there a date gonna happen?
There could be.
We've been talking about going to the zoo.
We have the zoo.
The otters.
Would you consider it a date, or would it just be like, we're friends?
I think I'm going to the zoo with someone on my own. It's a date. The zoo is my date spot.
The zoo is your date spot. Zoo and then Dippin' Dots.
Do you want a date?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
That was. It's either all in or like not at all.
Yeah, that's true. I would say yes. But at the same time, I feel like maybe I would need a little bit of time to think about it. Now that the hypothetical is becoming more real, you know, it's like if it's you know, like if it's in, it's all in kind of thing, you know what I mean? And like there's history and there's people and there's families and there's baby and there's this and there's drama and there's these things. My initial response is to say yes.
I'm trying to think of how that handshake went.
I barely
So
remember.
there's smack, pinky, birdie, pull it back, fist bump,
Did we shake on it? Is that our... We shook on
Oh,
it?
we shook. One date.
One date.
Bing.
Bing.
Okay.
I will say it has gone by faster than I thought.
Yeah.
I guess time flies.
When you're having
Whenever.
fun.
Well, you finish your sandwich. I go take potty stretch break.
Okay.
Ugh. Don't hit the microphone. Don't hit the microphone. Ah, look at me. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You going on a date?
I guess so.
You agreed to a date.
I guess so, yeah.
She seemed a little disappointed that you're kind of hesitant.
I guess it felt like a big thing to say yes to, like kind of a big commitment. But I think I've come around a little bit, like it's, one date at least. It might not be like a super high stakes event. Before today, as we had been reconnecting, had you had any thoughts of like a possibility of getting back together with me or like seeing me that way at all in any sense?
Did it cross my mind? Yeah. Like when I was in Korea. Prior to that, not really. The more we kind of started talking, the more sides of you I had seen, and the more reliable you became as a person just in my life. The reliability kind of brought into question, like, can I trust you again? My eventual answer as the father of the baby had broken my trust. What I had told him was, it took you 3 years, but I would say you built my trust back. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get back together, but in talking with you, I think it was always in the back of my mind as a possibility. Like I could see if we could work again.
If I were to have kids with somebody, I think you would be a pretty good person to have kids with.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
They'd be cute babies.
White and Hispanic. Yeah, I mean, it's a good combo. At any point during this experience, have you thought about kissing me?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought, like, would I want to? Like, what would it be like? After this, would I kiss him?
Oh,
Like,
shit.
by the car, just
By
like
the car.
sneaky after hours kiss.
Sneaky. Who is she? Chaotic.
Like, let's explore that. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, all while you were talking, so I'm sorry if I didn't
That's
listen
fair. No, that's
to
okay.
things you were saying.
You were getting lost in my voice. What can I
Oh my
say?
gosh.
I tend to have that effect
Lost
on
in the
people.
lips. You want to peck?
Sure.
Here. I'll give you a little kissy.
Okay.
That was maybe more than a peck.
Maybe more than a peck.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Room for improvement. Beard burn is never,
The beard burn.
never enjoyable. But that's not going away whether you let it grow or shave it.
You two kissed.
We did.
We did.
That-
When's the last time you kissed?
Last time we dated?
When we dated, yeah. 3 years ago, I guess. I was not expecting you to ask me if I wanted to kiss. I will be honest.
You thought I was gonna sit over here and twiddle my fingers and
and just secretly wanted.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you feel like after today so far, do you feel like you are more attracted to me than you were before today?
Before today, yeah. I think I've got a lot of hard questions out there and very interesting answers. How about you? After today, our whole experience, how you finding me?
How you finding me? I've never not found you physically attractive. But the other part, emotional, intellectual, I definitely think those were heightened as of today.
Oh, that's my ring.
You're the one that's hurting. You're the one with the rings, huh?
I know you keep hitting with nooks.
You nuts. What's up?
Nothing much.
Not much.
Just been hanging out in a box.
Just been hanging out in the
Got
box.
down to the final hour.
Final hour?
Whoa.
Holy moly guacamole.
You two kissed.
Honestly, I was not planning that. If I weren't in this environment, I probably wouldn't have kissed him.
Were you expecting that?
Like to kiss?
Yeah.
Not at all, honestly. I was more surprised that she would be willing to kiss, you know?
Do you think you're deserving of her affection?
I am doing what I can to make up for the past and to right my wrongs and sort of make up for what I did and what has happened between us. If my best is enough and it's what she would require and what is needed, in that case, yeah.
I stood up and looked around. There was nothing to be found. Just a world I couldn't see that I heard. Ooh.
Final 5-ish minutes.
How has this been for you?
Honestly, pretty fun. It was nice spending time with you, and you know, I always enjoy being near you and around you, and learned a lot. You know, we broke through some barriers.
Did you think it would go as fast as it did?
No. What about you?
It's been fun. I learned a lot. Kind of things I thought I wanted to hear, things I needed to hear. Wasn't anticipating leaving here having a date. I was definitely not anticipating kissing you.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's felt like planned and spontaneous and all the fun parts of knowing somebody and like getting to know somebody.
Yeah, it definitely felt like an experiment.
Woo!
Woo!
We did it!
Yay! Talk it out too, or no?
Sure.
My butt. Sorry, I'm very sorry, I will say. Shut up. I really love you. By the way, you know, you're great, and I'm happy to have you in my life again.
Me too.
All right, you did it.
Okay.
Wow.
You ready to get out and be free?
I mean, I can chill. No, I was kidding. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, you want to stay here longer?
I mean,
Are you surprised by what happened?
I guess I'm a little bit surprised about how comfortable and easy it felt to just be so candid.
I think we're back to being best friends, potentially on the way to something more.
I guess we'll go on a date and see how it goes, see how it feels, and I'll let you know.